Hi, I'm Caitlin. I'm the CTO of Hex. And what Hex is, well, what the marketing site will tell you is that we are a collaborative data platform for data science and analytics. I'm going to unpack that a little bit. The fundamental problem that we're solving is prior to Hex and what we were seeing across our jobs, both building data products and also working with data teams, was that a typical data team, their workflow was spanning dozens of products. That chart that you're sending to the CFO or whatever, that lived in Excel. There was maybe some Jupyter notebooks in there. There was a Looker. There was some SQL queries that were run in BigQuery. It's really all over the place. And then you get it all the way up to the CFO, and the CFO is like, well, what if we change that assumption? And then you have to go do the whole cycle all over again. But I think even more importantly than the fragmentation was actually that most of these tools are not built for the way modern data analysts work today. On the one end, you have super on the rails, traditional sort of business intelligence tools building dashboards. But today, a lot of data analysts are working in code. They're using Python, they're using SQL. But in order to do that, they have to swing all the way to the other direction. And all of a sudden, we're talking about like deploying a Docker image to EC2 just to share your chart with someone. And that's really not how they're adding value to the company. So how does Hex solve this? Well, I actually, even though we're sort of a collaborative data platform for data science and analytics, I actually like to think of it as the first complete end-to-end data analytics IDE. And we are built around the core of a code notebook. So if you're familiar with Jupyter or Colab or some of these tools, that's the sort of spine of our product. But we do encompass this really, truly entire workflow of what a data team does today. Some of that's exploratory data analytics, which notebooks shine at. Some of that is reporting and building interactive dashboards for executives. And that a huge part of that is actually also the knowledge management and governance of all of the data artifacts in your company. And then on top of that, one thing that I think we've tried really hard to do at Hex is to make sure that the data scientists have the power and flexibility where they need it. So writing SQL, writing Python, but then a lot of the stuff that they don't really need to worry about, such as deploying an application to production, that part is, abstracted away from them so they can kind of focus on the areas where they're actually driving the most value in the business. This is a wall of text. There's a few wall of text slides here, so feel free to take pictures. We built a lot of really cool stuff under the hood here. I want to call it a couple things, but there's obviously a lot more. The notebooks we've actually built are polyglot, and the technology that we've used to do that is pretty neat. So you can use SQL and Python and actually sort of visual elements all in the same notebook. We've done some really interesting things under the hood. If you're familiar with how notebooks work, a lot of people really hate how notebooks work. And so we've kind of fixed a lot of the features there, including doing cool things like automatically computing dependency graphs between cells and things like that. And there's a whole bunch more there that we've done. Users love it. We kind of lean in on the marketing side on like the magic thing, but users actually tell us this literally. And actually, we're used by hundreds of companies, and one of them actually just spoke. Clifford Health is one of our favorite customers, so that's cool. It's cool to be on the stage here today with them. And it's growing pretty fast, growing at a pretty good clip here, 10x in the last year, user growth, 5x revenue growth, and continuing to grow. But you don't have to talk to us. You can talk to all these lovely investors here, some of the best investors in data. Snowflake's an interesting one. We're partnering with them pretty heavily, and so much so that they actually went in pretty heavily on our most recent round, which is a Series B. I want to spend just a minute talking a little bit more about what it's like to work here. I'm not going to go through all of these, but there's a few that I think are really near and dear to my heart, and you can actually see the rest of them on our website where our handbook is public. So care about craft. This is a really important one to me. We're really UX and sort of user workflow driven business. And I think this is one of the main value props of what we give our users. And they just love to use the platform. So if that's something that really excites you, I'd love to talk to you. And then this growth mindset bit, I don't know about you, I've made a lot of mistakes. I'm a first time founder, so I keep making mistakes. And I think it's just really important to build an environment where everybody can kind of learn and grow together, because that's how we're going to build the best product and the best company. We are hiring across the board. These are some of our open roles that I felt were most relevant, but we have a number of other ones on our careers page. And you can come talk to me afterwards if you're interested.